Link in the description for the first video where I tried to form the head and paint it. Appreciate it if you check it out. Link in the description. Thanks for watching. So this is the Skelegod from Masters of Universe Revelations. This is what the figure originally looked like when you get it out of the box. So using the Skeletor from Revelation's staff on the left hand side up top, the horns off that staff, and on the right side the Frost King from the Build-A-Figure, that cape. And then in the bottom left over here I used the Masters of Universe Skeletor, just a head sculpt. And what I came up with is piecing together this right here. So this is what it looks like before I painted it, after I mocked it up. Then after I painted it, I'll show you a little bit right here. I'm just going to show you a little bit of it because for sake of the video, it's kind of long. I cut it down as much as I could. I appreciate you watching. I'll do some more. I'll probably do another video on this right here to get a little bit more close-ups, but this is what I came up with. This is the final project. But the Reaper, the staff, or whatever you want to call it, that Reaper staff in his hand, that is from Batman Heavy Metal series. I decided just to use that just for the sake of this video, or I may put some black chains around it. I don't know. Tell me what you think. But this is what I came up with by using all those pieces. Here's how I came up with it. And thank you for watching. And thank you if you've been around. And thank you if you commented. You guys take it easy. Until next time. So this is just when I got it all done and primered up to where I needed it to be. The next step I'm going to do is going to go straight out of the bottle. Well, I thinned it out a little bit. Is the Createx Black right there on the table. I started out, it looked like a mess. I was like, oh man, this is going to be crazy. I hope this is going to work out okay, because I wasn't too sure exactly how it was going to work out. So all I did is go straight black with it. I gave it a couple of coats of black, and then from there I went into the red. Here with that detailed carmine, man, that red, I love this red. The same thing, rinse and repeat, sort of, so to speak. Just check the head sculpt and check the body when you get further into the project to make sure everything's matching and kind of looking the same. But again, I went from top to bottom, from the top of the shoulders down, to try to get that faded effect. Here, right here, it's more or less a purple. I mean, it's not a purple, but it's a dark burgundy red. Right now, I was like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm going to do with this now. Thinking, man, I think I just messed this whole thing up and I got to start over. But like I said, just keep putting the layers on, keep putting the layers on, keep putting the layers on, and just go from top down for the lighting, or however you want to do it, or if you want to do it the other way, go from bottom up, where the light may be, or try to fade it from top to bottom. Just keep going with it and just keep coloring it, man. Like right here, I left the spots open where I put some darks where I thought I wanted the shading to be. Then I went over top with this red, and it was like turning almost pink, and I was kind of worried. It was like, oh, I'm gonna have to throw this thing away. But no, man, just keep going, keep letting it dry. Spray, let it dry a little bit, hit it with the air, let it dry, spray, let it dry. Some red opaque straight out of the can, bright red. I just wanted his skin to be a little more brighter. I was happy with the way it looked for a whole night. I kind of like sitting on things, which is, I'm sure everybody's like this that do this kind of stuff, that look at it, stop for that night just to see what it looks like the next day, think about it, and you come back and see it with your fresh eyes after you see it for the next day. I decided to go with a more brighter red. I wanted the highlight, a little more highlighting of the red in different spots, like the hands I'm doing here, and then the chest. Not so much the torso, the back, or the sides of the body, just the very tops of where the light would be hitting the skin for the top part of the body. So that's about it I'm doing there. I'm just going back in and just brightening it up a little bit. And I brightened this part up a little bit too, because I thought it was a little bit too dull and too of a dark burgundy look. I wanted it kind of more brighter too as well, because I'm just going to put another wash on it anyway. So after I was happy with the colors right here of the bright, where I don't want to go too bright, so I stopped right there. So I moved to the cape. Here's where I put the cape together. I darkened the cape up with some black straight up opaque out of the can, and I just went and left some spots open where I think the light would be on the cape, where it's light gray or white as you see there. That's just primer. So I went back with the dark detailed carmine again, and I just went in and just filled it all in where I thought I needed it to be, and to just keep going until you get the desired look. That's all you do, man. Just keep layering that paint, man. Just keep going with it, and just keep thickening it up, and just keep get it where you need it to be. So here are the legs, the left and right. The one on the right is complete just black opaque, and the one on the left is where I need to be, is where I starting to need to be. I'm going to come in with this wrought iron, if that's how you say it. You can see it right there, wrought iron, matte black. I decided to paint the front of the shin plates with that color. That's a really cool color, man. It's a really odd looking, like a dark charcoal, dark iron color. So that's what that color is I'm putting on the front of the shin plate on the boots. Then I'm coming here with some dark wash, and I'm going to go all over top of it again. I did this like 2 or 3 times. I didn't put it through the whole video because I knew the video is long. This video is kind of long, but I went in and I rubbed it off, put it in, rubbed it off, put it in, rubbed it off, and I started getting this crazy deep dark red right here. It turned out better than I expected. At least the feet and the boots did. So the same thing with all these pieces. Rinse and repeat over and over and over again. I did a little bit of dry brushing here on this one just to see what I would come up with. I wasn't sure exactly where I was going with this piece here. The same thing, like I said, dark wash over and over and over again. Like I said, for the sake of the video, I didn't show you how the whole process was done, but this was the gist of it. Just fill it all in. It's kind of worrisome because you look at yourself, well, now I'm just making this thing opaque black. But no, you just let it dry a little bit. In between spots, it dries up pretty well, and then just wipe it off with the sponge, or I recommend not so much a sponge, because when I used a sponge, it left kind of like sponge marks. Use a real smooth, not a rough dish towel, but like a smooth cloth like I have right there. It's real smooth. So I went back in after I was done dark washing it all up, and I went in with obviously a paintbrush here, and I went in all the cracks again just to fill the cracks in really well, and just keep doing this process until you get the desired look you're looking for. I said, over and over and over again. Maybe it's a quicker way of doing it. I don't know. Just my way of doing it. I did it baby steps. I did it slow. I washed it, dried it, dry brushed it, washed it, dried it, dry brushed it, washed it again. Meaning by washing, I mean the dark wash. I still wasn't really happy, I think, here where I'm at with that. I decided to let it dry because I think if you just keep doing it over and over again, you're just disrupting the paint. The paint doesn't have a time to settle and bond to whatever it's doing, or not bond, but dry. If you don't let it dry, you're just going to have a smearing effect over and over and over again. You have to do all the other pieces like I'm doing here, which, like I said, this is kind of me just learning as I go. Just try to go back and highlights, and I'm putting some highlight dry brush in here on top of what I've already done with the airbrush gun. I'm just going back. I mean, I'm just going. All I'm doing is experimenting myself too, man. That's all I'm doing. Here back again with this wrought iron, which is, I love this black. I'm going in, I'm putting all over the armor that he has on his belt and everything. I just went straight with that color. That's about it right there. That's about far as I went with it, man. I didn't want to go back over top any silvers. I could have maybe took some silvers and dry brushed over top of it, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted a very matte looking figure, very dark, very really low tone looking figure, you know, or my interpretation of a devil or whatever, so to speak. But the only thing I say that if you guys would do, if you're going to do something like this, if you're going to put several pieces of other figures together like I did on this one, make sure you remember to drill a hole in the back of the figure. What I did was, here, I'll show you, I forgot to drill the hole in the back of the figure when I was almost done with the torso, so I had to go back in and drill a hole. So what I did is I made a small hole first, and then I went back in with a bigger bit to fit that cape in the back of the figure. I just didn't want to glue it onto the back. There's a little piece on the back of that cape right there you can see behind the drill that I wanted to fit actually into the back of that figure like that, and then I put some glue inside of it to hold it there. So outside of that, that's all she wrote. I think there's one more step that I did to this figure I wasn't sure what I was going to do with. Right there on the table you can see behind my hand there's a bright green piece. That green piece goes on top of the neck on the Skelegod, the original from the original figure, the colors of the original figure. I just went with a straight black, then I went with some detail carmine, and then I went some light, like just a bright red. I just went over and I dry brushed it. Showed you right here. I just went with it right there. So if this helps anybody, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm learning on my own. I'm learning on my own. I'm learning myself as I go. That's the only way to do it. But I'm always watching tutorials. Maybe this helps somebody. If it did, that's cool. Outside of that, I thank you guys for watching. I got more to come. I just haven't put up anything lately because I've been kind of busy. But like I said, if you stuck around and you watched this long video, which I made it as short as I possibly could, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, I'll see you. Thanks for watching, and thank you for sticking around.